Telling you earlier about my knowledge of art, which dates back to the early, or I would say probably the mid to late 80s, 1987. It was an episode of Family Ties where Alex P. Keaton was trying to impress Ellen, and so he went to a local thrift shop and bought a Picardo for her, and told her he got her a Picasso. To which, for years, I just assumed there was a guy who sold rich art named Picasso, and then a guy who sold not as expensive pieces named Picardo. And then I matured into a full-blossomed adult and realized that all of that was just fiction. So that happened. And then, who would have ever thought that I would come across someone who not only knows art, gets art, but embraces those who don't, which is what I need thoroughly. So this is Jessica. Jessica, what's your last name?
Levy.
This is, I didn't know if it was Levy or Levy.
That's like, I get it all the time.
This is Jessica Levy. And you're like an art agent? Is that?
I'm an art advisor,
Okay,
also an art rep, but
Okay,
there's two different things.
What is that?
So I help people that want to start, build, or cultivate their current art collections, or start new collections, or just trying to get an understanding of the art world.
Have you always been into art?
My entire life.
Like second, third grade, everyone
Second,
was making
third grade,
houses, you were making like impressionists.
Exactly.
Okay.
I would say my passion is sculpture, clay, stone, glass. I went to undergrad in Michigan for sculpture, but then I didn't want to sell any of my art because they're my babies.
Right.
But I can sell everybody else's, and I started a show there, worked at the museum there, and then it just grew.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Thank you.
I mean, I think of sculpture and clay, and I think of that Lionel Richie video, Hello. And
that, or I get Ghost all the time.
Ghost is a good one.
Yeah.
That's a little more sophisticated for my taste. Like, let's go back to Lionel Richie, just because I feel like we related a little bit more.
Hello.
And she's blind, and she's making
and she's like kind of doing the hair.
And all of a sudden the hair looks just like Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen?
And you can feel the face.
And I believe she was blind the whole time.
Well, that's art therapy. Well, that's actually also, my mom was an art therapist, and
it's healing through art.
It's healing through art, through kids that were, well, I worked with children that were severely challenged in verbally expression, and so they used art to express, because sometimes hearing the words was too painful, but the pictures were something.
So art, stupid question, but sort of all-encompassing, right?
Yes.
Sculpture, clay,
photography, video installation, everything.
Okay.
And I have worked in all aspects myself, so even lithography, printing, everything, so that when I'm selling work, I really understand the process, and that's what I really try to get my clients embraced in. So it's not just the name, it's all about really being a part of the process and making it yours.
I feel like, and I bet most people feel this way, that an artist is never successful until sadly they pass, and then people, so dispel that for me.
Okay, well, I think that was a long time ago. I think the power of social media has really taken our market into just another level. I've been representing this guy named Jeremy Penn.
Love Jeremy Penn's work.
Yes,
that's really cool stuff. And
actually, when I met him, he's always been a talented artist, but we had the same passion.
Describe Jeremy's art.
Well, he is. I think he's the modern day Picasso, because that's very grand. Sorry.
Yeah. I think it's Picardo. So, but she's going with Picasso. So we differ a little bit, just from my art background or her art background. I'll explain mine again later.
But I think what's amazing about Jeremy's work is that his passion is so deep that in all his different genres, they've all been totally different in comparison to Picasso's red period, blue period, his African series. So Jeremy is his recent collection, actually.
Is it the words?
Well, his power of text. He actually received this vintage erotica from the 50s and 60s. But it's like a Victoria's Secret. It's a Victoria's Secret catalog now.
That's where I stopped.
It's hot.
No, but from what I saw, and I didn't see
it's
the
all
extended
about
collection, but I just saw these sort of,
it's 4,000 pages of like literature, and how he got engrossed with the idea of sexuality and the power of words, and how people relate to the words and what they're reading. And his work is very interactive. So the one panel is a collage of this vintage erotica, but it's words like power. It's amazing in the 50s and 60s what they thought they could draw people in. That
right.
be of interest. And then the top is aluminum polished to a mirror finish with words, something that stuck out. So for instance, like vibe.
Yes.
That's a new piece, and it's about vibrations between two people and how they relate. But there's the outer surface that is very clean, sleek, sophisticated, but inside, which is the underlying surface, which is raw and colors and layers and kind of the dynamic. And then it's really cool because then you watch somebody capturing themselves into the piece, and they're like, does it mean something? How does it mean to them? Then they're looking at themselves, but it is about them. So it's very cool.
So is it always text? Is that his?
Right now it's text. He's done portraiture. He's also known for the hot lips, which is a
text is really
it's very sophisticated.
It is also, not that this is what you're going for, but viral-esque.
Yeah, for sure.
People can sort of grab onto something and just let it ride.
And then every day it's something different. It's like phases of life. Every time that you look at the piece, one day the word love can mean one thing, and the next day it can mean another.
Right.
So, and that's the beauty of art and how it reflects your personality and kind of brings the aura to the home. Regardless if it's Jeremy or anybody's work, that's what I try to achieve with my clients, is really kind of the psychological pull between them and the art.
For me, walking into, I don't know, say like some huge gymnasium full of every type of gym equipment in the world is like utopia.
Right.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Right.
You could leave me there for 27 hours. I could work my way around, use is that how you are when you go to like MoMA or like Museum of Art History or like the Louvre or one of those places?
I mean, I used to
By the way, the only 3 museums I know. So had she just stopped.
What about the Baseball Hall of Fame?
The Baseball Hall of Fame. You go to Cooperstown. That's pretty cool. There's that. And then why don't you jump in here anytime?
Okay, yeah. So I used to be an apprentice at the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, when I was in high school. Very fancy.
Very fancy.
Yeah, but I wasn't fancy.
No, you are. I can see already how fancy you are. I get your red pants on, your blazer. You're pretty fancy.
It's spring. I gotta get spring on. No, so I used to just like get lost in the Met purposely, and just like sit and I have my stoop. I have my stool that I love, that I just sit. Renoir is my favorite. Cezanne, Renoir.
So for someone who doesn't, I don't want to say get art or like art, but doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
What is a good introductory line or 2 or 3 sentences to just give someone the, crack the door open a little and say, well, here's what you'll get.
Okay. Well,
without jumping too far over.
No, I'll actually break it down. The abundance of art fairs have gotten so huge across the country, and if people want to buy art, it's a great place to just get an idea of what's out there under one roof. The world of art is so overwhelming. There's so many different avenues.
Right.
But if you just go there's fairs everywhere in all these major hubs across the world. And if you
it's
go,
not just people drawing trees. Like I feel like it's a lot
there's so much.
Like...
There's affordable art fair. Frieze Week is coming up. There's Armory Week that was just in New York, and there's Basel, which is crazy, and Miami. But there's so much to go, and there's so much to go out there. I really think also the power of social media has gotten so big that there's so much research you can do on your own or hire an advisor.
I would hire you in a heartbeat just to walk around with me at a museum and make me sound intelligent. But
it's like a psychologist. You need to connect with the right person that gets what you want.
Right. Otherwise, it's just me trying to impress other people, like Costanza did on Seinfeld when he got sucked into buying those triangles.
What's
for
the
like
Seinfeld
5,000.
thing you talk about?
There was an artist.
Wait, there's the one that he's the picture and he's like this and like that.
Yeah, but no, not that one. This one, there was an artist and he drew a bunch of triangles, and then he got sick and he was going to die, and George thought he was going to die, and so he wanted to buy a piece of art that was going to make a ton of money. So he spent $5,000 on a bunch of triangles, and then the guy miraculously lived, and George was stuck with it and asked what the return policy was. That's the way I sort of
that.
sometimes
That is
see
really
it.
funny.
But I think you also have to connect with it. Like
absolutely.
I sort of had a closed mind to whatever Jeremy Penn was going to do until I started researching some of his work. And I said, you know what, I actually like that. I could actually connect to that with the right word at the right time. Like, well, how do I see that through my own perspective and through my own story?
Absolutely.
And I may not find the same attraction to an impressionist piece or a picture of a flower or the Mona Lisa or whatever it is.
Right.
But whatever connects you to that piece, I guess, is when you sort of hit it.
Exactly. And also, what's so amazing is that a lot of people, obviously, to all the designers in the world, love what they do.
Yeah.
But anybody walks into a home, everybody sees the art first. Every single person, and it really reflects, brings out the aura of your of who you guys are.
Right.
So, which is so special. Like, no one can really comment on it. It's yours. It's what you want to do. And it's just, when you hire an advisor, it helps you to make sure you're buying it right and smart.
So like, what made Andy Warhol so famous and popular and so sort of...
Okay.
He transcends time, but how many artists? I mean, there was only
Well, he was the first and foremost person to kind of take this print medium into what it became, and he was so innovative in making the studio and the factory of all these people could become part of his process and part of his legacy. It was. And it just brought the idea of what prints and limited edition prints, and that you can collect them over time, and just.
But do you still think of him as an artist, since it wasn't?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He's the first guy to do that. So
right.
That.
But he wasn't painting anything, and he wasn't creating.
No. Yeah. Okay.
It was different. So I was just
curious.
Well,
he was doing silk screens and lithographs, which is, do you know what that is?
Of course not.
Okay, cool. So, which is, you take...
I really know what art is. I don't even know my middle name, so...
It's a process where you layer different screens and color press each screen on top of another to build an image. So, when you take, say, Warhol's, it's edition of 100, the number 1, with Warhol was taking making it available to the idea of glorifying this available to the masses.
Okay.
And everyday photos, objects, taking it to the masses. So anyway,
But even though it's available to the masses, there's still a fortune.
Well, now, because
he passed.
He passed.
So now we come full circle again.
So hopefully, Jeremy's going to get bigger before he dies.
Okay.
He can't die. He can't die on me. He's like my third baby.
Who are the hottest artists right now? So say I was going to buy another apartment and I was going to stock my place with something that when someone walked in, they said, wow, you have a blank on your wall. Besides a picture of my 2.5-year-old.
I think that's a very broad, because a lot of people who are responding to it right now might disagree with me. I can say that I'd rather answer it in a way of like people that I've been following and that I really...
Or how about this?
That.
Open my, like, give me 3 or 4 artists that I can go or people can go to, just do a little research on and see different kinds of work.
You know what? Actually, everyone should go. It's going to be Prints and Multiples, taking from the Warhol comment. Okay. It's going to be Prints and Multiples auction season coming up, which means Christie's, Sotheby's, Phillips, ArtNet, Paddley, they're all going to be previewing their best works on paper, prints and multiples.
And
it is, you can go online and see everything online, and just, this is a great time to buy work that, like, you have a wish factor, and you might be able to get it. It's all auction. So Warhol, Damien Hirst, Lichtenstein, everybody, just, it's amazing. It's a great way to see work, museum blue chip work, under one setting.
And when is that? Soon?
Soon. I'd say within the next 2 weeks. The previews are starting now.
Okay.
And then you have Art, well, if you guys are in New York, Art Miami Contact Freeze is the first week of May 3rd. Jeremy will actually be exhibiting at Context Art Fair. So.
Is Jeremy like a normal guy?
He's a very
He's
cool
not
guy.
one of those, like, in what I think in my mind, they sort of lock themselves in a bathroom for 8 years
like
and paint
chill
in the bathtub.
and charismatic, and he was featured in Hamptons Magazine last summer.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. He's
nice.
a very cool dude.
Yeah. Not that I love uncool dudes too. I don't care if you're cool.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I spent high school as an uncool dudette, so I totally get that.
I get it. I was middle.
You're middle. Where do you go from here? Like, we're like at 5-10 years from now, are you just doing this with bigger?
No, you know what? I have to say, there's a lot of me's out there, but I think I've developed a niche for people that really want to start buying and learning, and I enjoy the education process of it, and I like this niche. I mean, maybe it's not, I would say, monetarily lucrative, but it's passionate, and I think what I can.
Do you want me to give you money? Is that what this is about?
I mean, who doesn't want money?
You want money? I mean, just
More
ask
money.
for it. Like, we need to go around this whole art thing for you to ask for money. Just say, I want some money. Just say the word.
I don't know. It's about the art. No, really. I think, one day, I mean, who knows? I think what's exciting.
What about you? Would you create again?
I would love to sculpt again.
Yeah?
I would love it. I miss it.
I have a little line over here
I tore a ligament in my elbow. And
It's okay. A bird just flew onto my face,
nice.
so that's
Okay,
good.
you're okay.
So we all have something, obviously.
I think one day, I mean, listen, one day, I'd like to travel the world and be able to like find things, and I love the idea of meeting people. My job brings me this flexibility of just my options are endless. Which
I love that.
I love it.
I also love when I meet someone who is doing what has been woven into their DNA as a child.
Yes.
Right?
I breathe it. I love it.
I love the fact that this is what you wanted to do when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And somehow, some way, you're doing exactly what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, and I bring my kids with me all the
Awesome.
time. I mean, listen, as you know, work-life balance is crazy.
Yeah, I don't even understand it.
Every day it's a new thing.
Tell me about your kids.
They're awesome.
How old?
They're 9 and a half and 6 and a half.
Okay, girl,
nine and
boy?
Both girls.
Nice, you did it the right way. 2 girls.
I gave what God gave me, so it's good.
That's what I always say.
They're healthy, they're sweet, they're loving,
Names.
they're mush. Hayden is 9 and a half, and Cameron is 6 and a half.
I love it.
They're so cute.
Mine is Harper and Quinn.
Oh, I liked Harper.
I liked Hayden.
Ah,
We were going to do Harlow, Hayden, or Harper.
that's so funny.
Yep, we ended up with.
That is so funny. Hayden, Alexis, Cameron, Paige.
I have to tell you that before you sat down, I really thought the only thing I was going to contribute to this conversation was the fact that when I was in high school, I used to watch Bob Ross with his titanium white.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
With the happy trees.
with the happy trees.
I
He's
love
like,
the happy
I'll
trees.
just paint a little tree right here and a little right. I'm like, God, art's awesome. Art's the best. And then when he was done, it was literally just another tree with another river.
But it's
like,
really
on another
amazing
pasture.
how they all are. I mean, I
Beyond
love
amazing
Bob
that
Ross.
he made life. Like,
He
I
made
couldn't
curly
even believe
hair,
it. Yeah,
like,
he brought the fro back. And go
Yeah.
Bob Ross. I think he recently passed. Am I right?
Yeah.
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 Okay, so now
But
we're
I'm
talking.
so glad.
This stuff probably is worth a fortune right now. Okay, great. Well, I can't
So
thank
nice
you
to
enough.
meet
I've
you.
never
Thank you
met
for
anyone
having.
that does what you do. I'm fascinated by it. I have to tell you, I'm beyond intrigued now to go through.
See, and it's less
and look
overwhelming. I try to make it less overwhelming.
through. You did. You
Oh,
absolutely
thank
did.
you.
I'm
I really
into
appreciate it.
I'm
Thank you.
gonna get me some art. I'm gonna find art.
Well,
I'm gonna get
you
that
gotta
art.
get me with you.
I'm gonna take you with me. We're gonna find some
We'll
art.
make a workout of that.
Now we're finally talking.
Yeah, that's good.
Jessica, thank you so
So
much.
nice.
for
Thank
being
you for
here.
having
We'll
me.
take a break. We'll be right back.